or under. The final gaps of the wall were about to be sealed. Then Kamala came in.
We are monitoring Donald Trump. He is at a border community just along the Arizona-Mexico border. But
even Fox had to cut its coverage of Donald Trump's whatever that was in Arizona earlier today. It was billed as a speech about the border when Donald Trump killed the bipartisan border deal. Let me just fact check what Donald Trump said in this awful low energy speech to the extent you can even decipher what he is saying. Here, Donald Trump talks about how you're going to end up with no media. Here, play this clip.
Fairly, this story, because you people don't want to talk about the border. You don't want to talk about the bad things that are going on in our country. We're going to end up not having a country. You're not going to have any media. We don't have media. They don't have media. They do their own media. They don't need media.
And that's coming from Donald Trump, who constantly attacks the media as the enemy of the people and threatens to shut the media down. Then Donald Trump started talking about drug climbers. Here, play this clip.
All of you people. And we wanted to design something that worked. And we actually had mountain climbers. We even had drug climbers. They call them drug climbers. They can get over a wall like so incredible with 75 pounds of drugs on their back. They can climb up things. And we designed this after looking at a lot of different designs, and that's an anti-climb panel that makes it very tough for somebody to climb. This was the one that they wanted.
Then Donald Trump is talking about how he says it's very sad for the country. Then he talks about it's sad for the country the way that Biden was taken out in a coup. Donald Trump is obsessed with President Biden. Here, play this clip.
So thank you very much, everybody. It's very sad time for this country in many ways. You had a candidate. I was no fan of Joe Biden, but the way he was taken out was a coup.
Then Donald Trump tries to attack Vice President Kamala Harris by saying she destroyed San Francisco and California, that nobody can even go to California anymore. Newsflash, I'm living in California. It's actually very nice in California. And then he goes, it was much better 15 years ago.
And she's the leader of the pack. She destroyed San Francisco, absolutely destroyed it. She destroyed California. You can't go into California. You can't go into San Francisco. It's not livable. 15 years ago was the best city in the country, one of the best cities in the world, and now you can't do anything.
Jessica Tarlov has a great fact check of that. She's been talking about that on The Five and on other Fox shows. Here, watch this.
Well, first of all, he loves to say 15 years ago San Francisco was amazing, which is when Kamala Harris was DA and Gavin Newsom was the mayor of San Francisco. So I'm sure they appreciate the compliment about their work there.
Then Donald Trump started talking about rough prisoners from Congo and all over Europe. Here, play this clip.
The Congo in Africa. Many prisoners let go from the Congo in Africa. Rough prisoners. All over Europe they come, from all over, rough sections, the jails.
You notice the whole thing that he's doing is just intended to divide the country and just spread anger and hate and try to push these culture wars. Oh, then Donald Trump says that the real issue going on in Minnesota is a lot of hanky-panky, he says. Here, play this clip.
His numbers are horrible. People are fleeing his state. I love his state. We should have won his state twice, but a lot of hanky-panky goes on there. Hasn't been won since 1972. Richard Nixon was the last one to win it. But every time I go in there, we have massive crowds and everything's good, but nobody seems to be able to win it. So I know why we didn't win it. People don't like to talk about it.
Then Donald Trump lies and says that the jobs for the black population and Hispanic population are down. Play this clip.
The jobs now are down, way down for the black population and the Hispanic population, because we have millions of illegal aliens that are poured into our country. They've taken the jobs of African Americans and Hispanics, and that was obvious to me.
By the way, the unemployment rate for both the black and Hispanic populations are at all-time lows under President Biden, and the wealth gap has been shrunk to its lowest level ever under President Biden. Record low unemployment for the Black and Hispanic population. Oh, by the way, here are some of the kind of MAGA people who were waiting for Donald Trump there. You could see them right there. And then let me show you this, because as Donald Trump was speaking there, you had J.D. Vance being asked a very simple question about what's your reaction to the fact that all of these Republican leaders are supporting Vice President Kamala Harris. Watch how awkwardly J.D. Vance answers this question. Play it.
Sir.
Senator, the former lieutenant governor spoke at the DNC, had some choice words about the former president.
I saw that too.
We also know that Brian Kemp has also had some tough things to say about the former president. What's your reaction to these top Republicans from the state having reservations about the president and telling other Republicans to dump Trump?
Well, look, first of all, of course, Tim Walz is going to attack Donald Trump because Tim Walz doesn't have a record to stand on. What I found very interesting, did anybody watch Tim Walz's speech? Okay, good. I was going to lose a lot of respect for you if you had said yes. If you watched Tim Walz's speech, it's part of my job, so I had to. You know what he never did? He never once said, I know we've got some train noise in the background here, so I'll try to be loud, but he never, it's the Trump train. That's right, ma'am. God bless you.
And by the way, if you thought that was awkward with J.D. Vance speaking in Georgia, where even the Georgia governor doesn't support Donald Trump, here he is trying to order donuts in Georgia. This is like the most awkward interaction ever. J.D. Vance does not know how to order donuts. Here, play this clip.
The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything. Appreciate that, man. I'm J.D. Vance, American Vice President of Tennessee.
Okay.
How long have you worked here?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
Of this year.
Okay, good. How about you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, good. Just everything, yeah. I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense. How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good.
And whenever I show you clips about Donald Trump talking about the border, I always want to show you that the conservative Republican senator from Oklahoma was the one who led negotiations of a bipartisan border deal. And he says that Donald Trump and the MAGA elements of the Republican Party killed a bipartisan border deal that, by the way, was supported by the Border Patrol Officers Union and, again, supported by Langford, who's like one of the most conservative members in the Senate, because Donald Trump said that creating chaos at the border would be a winning issue for him. Like, here's one clip of James Langford saying that. Play the clip.
So Biden, in a rare moment, was correct in the things that he was actually laying out in that clip from the State of the Union address. It would have increased the number of border agents, would have increased the number of asylum officers. It would have radically changed the way that we did.
Here's another clip of James Langford on the Senate floor. Play the clip.
Popular commentator 4 weeks ago that I talked to that told me flat out, before they knew any of the contents of the bill, nothing was out at that point, that told me flat out, if you try to move a bill that solves the border crisis during this presidential year, I will do whatever I can to destroy you.
Here's Donald Trump bragging that he crushed the border security bill, a bipartisan deal, and bragging that he crushed it. Play the clip.
Let's not forget that this week we also had another massive victory that every conservative should celebrate. We crushed crooked Joe Biden's disastrous open borders bill. Crushed it. Mike Johnson did a very good job, and the whole group did a great job in Congress. We crushed.
Here is the VP of the Border Patrol Officers Union that previously endorsed Donald Trump in 2020, explaining why he supports the bipartisan border deal that Donald Trump killed. Play it.
Because what this bill essentially does is, you hear a lot of talk on the 5,000 cap, okay? But what that is right now there is no cap. So everyone that comes across that asylum gets released. Under this bill, everyone's going to get detained. You're not just going to be releasing. Why is it 5,000? because they're saying, they're going to hold up to 5,000 that they're going to go through the process, but the process are more strict than they are now. So now the asylum officer will make the determination on the asylum, and if they don't have a good asylum claim, they're going to get, sent back immediately without ever getting released. And as opposed to now, everyone's getting released, and they're not showing up for court, or their court date is 10 years down the road. Just to eliminate that. It's like I said, it's not perfect. I wish everyone was getting detained. So obviously the family units are still going to have to go through other processes.
And here is a sheriff in Texas who spoke at the DNC, Javier Salazar, and here he talks about how Donald Trump killed a bipartisan border deal. Here, play this clip.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that, not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. She's gone down to Mexico and worked to stop the traffickers. And when the traffickers didn't stop, she put them in jail. Now, down in my neck of the woods, we call that fooling around and finding out. I may be paraphrasing a bit. We protect them. Now, the border sheriffs that I know, right, and we're like Kamala. We protect and serve. We enforce the law. We show compassion. And we fight like hell to protect our border. Because as we've always known in Texas, cuando luchamos, ganamos. When we fight, we win.
Well, I wanted to bring you not only Donald Trump's speech, but unlike the corporate media, I think it's important that we give it its appropriate context and fact check. You could decide for yourself. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thank you for watching.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.